The Basic Laws Amendment Act was a major thorn in the flesh of the Government of National Unity, with its two main partners, the ANC and DA, on opposite sides of the deeply emotive matter, specifically relating to school admissions and mother tongue education. In acknowledgement of this discord, President Cyril Ramaphosa made the following announcement on the public signing of the bill in September 2024.
I've decided to delay the implementation for clauses 4 and 5 of the bill by a period of 3 months. The rest of the Act is implemented immediately. For 3 months, I allow 4 and 5 to have those engagements. This will give the parties time to deliberate on these issues and make proposals on how the different views may be accommodated. Should the parties not be able to agree, I want to make this clear, should the parties not be able to agree on an approach, then we will proceed with the full implementation of all the parts of the bill.
For ANC chairperson and Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi, who attended the signing ceremony at the Union Buildings, passing the act in its entirety was simply a matter of time.
The bill is signed, and for that I want to thank our President for demonstrating a level of braveness that even in this last minute when he's pushed, he signed the bill, which is what we ask him for. The 3 months is a modality with those that wants to present their issues. Remember, we're a government that is established to open doors for those that have a different view. So if that door is opened, we'll wait for that door to be utilized, and for those that want to bring alternative mechanism on the table to bring them. But remember, there's nothing new. There's nothing new that will be presented on the table because this bill was adopted by 8 of 9 provincial legislatures. This bill went through public participation. This bill went through Parliament. This bill allowed members of Parliament to vote, and they voted, and we know the outcome.
For her part, DA deployed to the GNU Severe Gwahube in a show of protest by a party boycotted the ceremony. Heightened advocacy by different groups took place in the 3 months given for further consultation by the president. The highlight being a march at the Voortrekker Monument by hundreds of people led by Afrikaner lobby group AfriForum.
To say that there's an obligation on the education department to systematically introduce mother tongue education for all children. We know children only get mother tongue education, children from African language, until the 3rd grade. And the results of that is devastating. If you look at what happens in the matric exams, only a few students, Afrikaans and English, write it in their mother tongue. And the fact is, if you have to write subjects like maths and science in English, which is your 3rd or 4th language, the fact is your maths knowledge is not being tested, it's your language knowledge. So our fight is to say, don't diminish the role of Afrikaans, rather grow other languages.
Later in November, reports emerged that Gwahube had quietly signed an agreement with the African-affiliated Solidarity Union on the exercise of her powers and responsibilities on the implementation of the BELA Act. In terms of the settlement, the controversial sections in the BELA Act would no longer be implemented on the 13th of December, with norms and standards being first developed. But the presidency dismissed such an agreement.
The agreement between the minister and Solidarity has no bearing in law or practical effect on the inclusive multi-party discussions that are underway on sections 4 and 5 of the Act. Furthermore, the agreement bears no influence on the President's powers to ultimately take a decision regarding the commencement of the Act. President Ramaphosa reiterates his commitment to the undertaking he made when he signed the bill on the 13th of September 2024 to give the parties 3 months to submit proposals on sections 4 and 5.
Calls for Ramaphosa to fire Gwahube rang out, and the DA in reaction threatened to leave the GNU, saying their deployee has merely been doing the job assigned to as education minister. The matter dragged on in the 7th Administration's Clearinghouse Committee. Finally, on the 20th of December, President Cyril Ramaphosa announced that the legislation would be signed into law with the 2 clauses remaining intact. Gwagube was swift in heeding the instruction.
Furthermore, I have instructed the Department of Basic Education and the Director General to continue with pace the process of developing draft regulations, norms and standards, and policy that will inform the implementation of this Act. I want these to be published for public comment within the next 6 months, taking us to June 2025. Public participation is an important step in the lawmaking process. It gives South Africans an opportunity to make their voices heard and ensuring that they make inputs in the implementation of this Act.
The public participation process is likely to be a robust one and will determine whether transformation of the basic education sector will indeed take place or if the reality will fall short of the deal. Natasha Phiri, SABC News, Johannesburg.